Alright, so today I'm going to talk about Sly Jumps and a variant called a swing boosted Sly Jump. But let's just start with the Sly Jump, which is a technique that I discovered, and before it sounds like I'm just a narcissist for naming this after myself, I'm going to show it off and then explain why it's called that. So, the Sly Jump basically lets you, from a climb, jump out and then store that momentum from the jump into a wall sprint, which you then release. So all you do for a Sly Jump is start on a wall. I'm holding sprint and a direction, and then I release jump and slide my thumb from the jump button onto the crawl button to start the wall sprint, just like that. You notice once the wall sprint ended, it just launched me with all the strength of that jump. So I'll get one with like a slightly longer startup. You know you'll do it because it's kind of like a slower wall sprint. And the difference between like a normal wall sprint ending and this one is like, let's look at this. When this wall sprint ends, it just kind of shoots you out at the end with whatever momentum you had. But a Sly Jump shoots you away from the wall. If you do it straight up, it's very noticeable. Like, I didn't really fade back or anything with that. That's just the natural momentum that it gives you. For some reason, it just sends you away. So when you're in a Sly Jump, it'll break automatically when you hit the edge and the wall sprint breaks, but you can do that at any point during the wall sprint by just letting the stick reset to neutral. It'll just automatically break the wall sprint, and then the Sly Jump will go off like normal. And the first thing you might think of when looking at this technique is that it seems fun but kind of useless, because you have to do it from a climb. There's not very many times in a speedrun, for example, that you're going to be climbing. That was why I named it after myself, because I thought it was really funny to find some random useless tech and name it after myself. There are some niche cases for it, though. Consider this token. In an 80% speedrun, you want to get this secret token. You're on your way to Doc Ock's lab over there. And generally, you're swinging through, and you want to, you line yourself up or you wall sprint through it. But sometimes you might swing yourself like into this corner, in which case the best way to get the token from here might be to climb and then just grab it while climbing like this. In that case, you could just do a Sly Jump. Well, actually do a Sly Jump. Pretend that the token's still there and do a Sly Jump. And that can keep you moving on your way. There's like a couple, sometimes in Pizza Percent, you mess up your movement and you find yourself on a wall and want to get yourself moving in that direction right away. You could do a Sly Jump for that, but for the most part, it's pretty useless. And it stayed like that for a while until a variant was discovered. I first saw Thinks the Clown do this. I'm not sure if he did it on purpose. But it was discovered kind of how it works a little bit later, and it's still a little shaky, but that is the swing boosted Sly Jump, which is basically the same thing. You're storing the momentum that you have into a wall sprint, which is then released when the wall sprint ends. The distance is you do it from a swing. Let me see if I can get one. Yeah, there's one. You see I pop right up and launch faster than I went in. That's because I preserve the momentum from the swing into it. That one's a little more tricky. It's kind of the same motion of sliding your thumb from the A button onto the crawl button. With swing boosts, we're pretty sure it's frame perfect. Like you can't be in the air for more than one frame before you start the wall sprint. Otherwise, it just doesn't work like that. But I generally to set up for these, I like to kind of be hugging the wall as I do it, so there's no chance for me to be in the air for too long for it to not work. And then I boost, and like straight after the boost, I do the slide from the A button onto the crawl button while holding sprint, of course, so that it is a wall sprint. And since you just did the boost right before, it'll kind of store that boost, but you can like actually get some pretty good momentum going with it. Like with let me try to see if I can do like a really fast one. Yeah, that was a pretty fast one. They're more useful at the lower swing speeds. Like I'm playing on swing speed 7 right now, but I find that you kind of get more bang for your buck on the lower swing speeds. An example where you might do one in like the speedrun, for example. You see, there's another one. This would also be in chapter 6 and 80%. So when you're trying, there's a race up there on that building over there. When you're trying to get there in the 80% speedrun, you'll generally be going through like this alley over here. And you need to get some height to get up there. So you might set it up so that you would do it off of like this building to get the height. See if I can get like a good run of that. Boom. And you see it shot me like at a perfect angle. Like if I didn't bonk there, I would have been able to land pretty much straight on there. So stuff like that, you can find a lot of creative like little places to put it. It's like a very solid movement option if you can get the hang of it. But it's never going to be like your bread and butter, if that makes sense. So it can definitely take some getting used to. Like I said, recommend. That was a great one. The slide up against the wall is a great one. You don't need to do it. You can just do it straight into it. I think that might do it. Yeah, that was a really tiny one. Sometimes you lose the momentum if you're not like sliding against the wall like that, but like pretty much everything, you know, just play around with it and get a feel for it, because it's they're both pretty nice little tools to kind of keep in your toolbox when you might need them.